Hey guys, we are wrapping up the Alien vs. Predator arcade figures today with a look at the final Xenomorph, and that would be our Razor Claws Alien figure here. So this guy comes in the same kind of boxes as the rest of this subline. We've got in there in the window, product shots, logo down there on the bottom, product shots on the side, on the back, as well as that fantastic character select screen, cross-sell, and write-up. So let's do it. Let's pull this guy out and take a look. And here he is out of the package, the final entry in the AVP arcade line. This has been a great series. I think this is one of the best sublines NECA has done in quite a while. And our Razor Claws Alien is a good way to go out because it rivals the Chrysalis Alien for my favorite spot when it comes to the Xenomorphs. This is a more standard type of alien, but it works really well. It's just a cool design. So let's jump in and see what this guy can do. Like I said, it is kind of a standard alien in many respects, so it's pretty familiar territory for the most part. So we've got a head that can go down, and then it goes up a little bit. You do have a little rotation there. It doesn't move maybe as much as you might expect, but it does twist some. The arms go out, they rotate. You've got rotating double jointed elbows, so he gets pretty far up. You've got rotation at the forearm. You've got rotation at the wrist and hinge, and then you've also got hinges here at the claws, so you can almost get him into a bit of a gripping posture. You've got a diaphragm twist. He goes backwards and forwards and then bobbles side to side a little bit. Your legs can go out. They kick forward. There is a hindrance here at the bones, kind of the hip joint, but he doesn't have the hip joint that has the bones on the leg itself, so he can go out a lot farther than normal. And then you've got kick back, and then there is a little rotation in the thigh itself. The knees rotate, and then you've got double joints, and then you've got your ball pegs down at the ankles, so side to side, forward and backwards really well, and then rotation, and then you've also got toe hinge, and then of course this being a Xenomorph, he does have a tail, so you can rotate at the base of the spine, and then you've got a big bendy wire in there to twist it all whichever way you want. So this guy is pretty standard in a lot of ways, but he moves really, really well, and I don't really have any issues with anything either. Everything seems to be pretty solid on this figure with no noticeable problems. And I should mention, of course, that he does have the inner jaw, which I almost always forget about, but there it is. Of course, like the rest of this line, the big draw for this figure is the look and the style, and NECA's done a pretty good job of giving it that kind of cel-shaded look where it has almost a shadowed effect with how they've applied the paints. So you've got some brighter areas, some darker areas, you've got swipes of white like on the thigh down here, but it still very much keeps in with the alien Xenomorph look. So, he could be a slightly weird Xenomorph, but he still very much fits with other Xenomorphs. There's nothing that keeps him apart. He's not pixelated or anything like that. He very much just evokes a certain type of look and very well fits the theme of how this particular alien looks in the game. So when it comes to this stuff, I think NECA is pretty well, top of the game, no pun intended. They really know what to do to make these figures seem like they've jumped out of a video game. Like this leg in particular, it's really dark on the inside, but then you've got a slightly muted pink on the outside versus a more bright white accented pink on this side. So it's just a really nice touch. And then of course we have that telltale NECA Xenomorph Sculpt, so everything's very well detailed, tons of line work, tons of paint, tons of dry brushing, and you just got a lot of that biomechanical look and feel going on here. The tail is incredibly long, very nicely done, a lot of dry brushing, a lot of paint accents. The hands, of course, are, the key aspect here. I get a very Freddy Krueger look when it comes to this guy because of kind of the paint color, so you've got his kind of like burned skin almost, but these claws are crazy and they've got a nice almost rocky look to them in terms of the paint and the color. NECA's just done a really good job with these, and they're huge. I mean, they're a good 2 inches each. So there's a lot of plastic there and some menacing armaments to make up for the fact that this guy, of course, doesn't have any accessories, which is pretty normal for these figures. And then, of course, you've got that monstrous head. So he does have a much larger head than a lot of other Xenomorphs, and this is one which always does it for me. It's got the clear skull cap on the top, so you can see the inner workings of the skull and just the organs and everything in there. So it's got that kind of frosted, it's almost greenish blue color, but it's really nicely done. There's just nothing for me to complain about with this figure. Joints are nice and tight, paint is on point, sculpt is on point. It very much looks like the source material as well it can be, while also being three-dimensional plastic. So this is by far one of the better entries in this particular subline in general, and it definitely gives the Chrysalis a run for the money when it comes to my favorite piece. So I've said it pretty much a few times already. There is really nothing that should keep a Xenomorph collector from getting this particular figure. The design is fantastically done. The sculpt is great. The paints are on point. Joints are nice. None of them are tight. None of them are loose. And then we've got just a great design that translates really, really well into an action figure here. And I think NECA's done a really good job pulling this whole line together in the first place. But this is a good figure to kind of demo as far as one of the hallmarks of this line, one of the high points, alongside the chrysalis alien for sure. The predators are fantastic. The human characters are fantastic. This is just a fun figure. It's got a cool design, and NECA did a great job bringing it to life. So that's going to do it for this look at the NECA Toys AVP Arcade Razor Claws alien. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And until next time.